think now would be a good. Oh, there's also he's having a nice meal. I thought this is also the same time frame. So you're seeing his nice enjoying some steaks. That's a pretty good steak. You know what? This looks really good. I would enjoy this, and I'm sure this is expensive, but it looks delicious. But what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? It's like, I guess this is what the wife got, the salad that the wife got. It's like lettuce stuffed with what seems to be like creamed corn. How much do you think this cost? I have no idea, but I'm almost certain this is like a $50, $70 plate of garbage. Anyway, I just thought I'd show that. All right. Right. Just a second. I'll clear up this tab and this tab. There was a bit of a funny post from Aaron. Aaron of the Steel Toe, he can't keep getting away with it. Another win for the toe. Says, reminder to set up auto pay on all your bills, including mortgage. Very important. Now, this is true. You know what? And while some people might not like Aaron, when you're right, you're right. So that's another win for the toe. All right. Now, there was a Kiwi Farms post by Melty Butter, which I believe was the first poster, right? That was the first person? Yes, Melty Butter, yes. So it's, they said, this fucker needs, oh, well, they're responding to somebody's, the person that he's responding to said, the fucker needs to have been spending on something else. And Melty Butter says, I don't think so. Let's give it a whirl. These numbers are very rough, but based loosely on what we know. Let's assume that he made 1.75 million cumulatively in 2022, 2023, 2024. I feel like this is a low estimate, to be honest. I think my estimate for Nick's earnings in that time frame are closer to $3 to $4 million. But I mean, this is pretty fair if you're just looking at the super chats and maybe some ad revenue, because I think that's what a lot of people forget is when they look at how much you would have earned during this time, they look directly at the super chats. Super chats can be a little bit deceptive because they don't tell the whole picture. You make a lot of money from ad revenue, of course, from streams if you're correctly monetizing them at least. And then there's also the sponsorships, Rumble, all those crappy garbage that he was trying to sell, the 5G protection badges, the air filters, that stupid little chainsaw that couldn't even go through a plastic bottle, birch gold, the Baldo. There was a lot of money from sponsors. Sponsors offer a lot of money. Like even a dingy little channel like mine gets sponsorship offers in like $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 range, and that's for like not even having 20,000 subscribers. Okay, I turn a lot of those sponsors down on this channel, but I have another channel where I do accept sponsorships because it's more family friendly. So this is just talking from experience. If I can get a couple thousand from my tiny channel, and Nick's got a channel that was like, it was around 400,000. I don't know about now, and it was getting live views in the measure of like 100,000 concurrent during those trials. You better believe they're offering him like 10,000, 20,000 for like a ad reads for a few weeks. Absolutely. I'm not ashamed of you. I love the chat. I'm ashamed of my channel size. Okay, I'm not making fun of the chat. Okay, my channel's always punched above its weight because the chat is so supportive and so handsome as well. All right, but we'll go with his numbers. We'll go with his numbers for now. Let's assume he made 1.57 million between 2022, 2023, 2024. Let's cut that in half for taxes. That's pretty reasonable, I would say. So he'd be left with 875,000. Then he's roughly, let's roughly tabulate his spending for those 3 years. Estimated spending for 3 years, 288,000 family expenses. AI says 8,000 a month for an upper middle class American family of 7. I don't think these numbers are accurate. Hold on. You know what? We're going to go in here. We're going to have to put this into my crime lab, which is, of course, MS Paint. There we go. All right. 1.7. I think 3 to 4 million, which would mean that after the 50%, he should still have like 1.5 to 2 million left over. That's what I think anyway. Let's see. Does 8,000 a month sound right? Now, this to me sounds ridiculous. 8,000 a month for a family of 7. But first of all, you have to understand he paid for the house, so there's no mortgage. So he's only paying for food, electricity, and then other costs for taking care of kids. Now, the thing is, he did admit to spending 3,000 a month on snacks. So while I do think that 8,000 a month is too high, it makes sense for Nick. So you know what? I'm going to rank this one as probably true. I think that's probably accurate with Nick's case. $240,000 worth of cocaine. So this is based on Camelot. You remember Camelot? My boy, Nick Ricada, said that Camelot said that Nick was spending $20,000 a month on cocaine. He's probably only doing that for a little while. So $20K a month for 12 months. I could see this as a maybe. I could probably see this as a maybe. So maybe, yeah, that sounds about right. $100,000 on a Mustang, Shelby GT. He paid. Now the thing is, he paid over $20,000 over the market rate, because I believe the Shelby GBT, not Shelby GB, not GBT. A Shelby GB, is it GBT? I don't know. I don't know about cars, okay? But my understanding is that this car is worth $80,000, but Nick wanted it now. So he paid $20,000 above market rate to get it, and then he nearly drove it off. Well, he did drive it off the road and through a fence, but nobody was hurt. So this is accurate. We know this. $86,000 in nanny fees, assumes $20 an hour, full time for 2 years. That seems pretty high, but no, for 2 years, yeah, $40,000 a year for a nanny. Sure, Nick was, yeah, I'll say sure for this one. Probably right. Also, Examoon, member for 10 months, says Nick took a sponsor raid. Oh, that's right, he did. That's right, he took a raid Shadow Legends sponsorship. That's right, and then he spent $4K on a vacation. I think he spent more than $4K on a vacation. There's no way you're having a family vacation to Legoland or whatever for less than $4K, especially if you're traveling like Nick does. And Gen X, with a member for 24 months, says, Happy New Year, Josh. Thank you for the last. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. But I do remember the Raid Shadow Legends thing. 50,000 in non-work holidays. He writes off the others. So hedonism plus the mysterious Caribbean vacay and Legoland. So there you go. There's 80,000. 80,000. Oh, sorry, no. So not 8,000. 50,000. Yeah, that sounds about right. I assume he spent like 20,000 going to hedonism. That includes $5,000 to pay off the Jamaican hookers that he had to pay for abortions for. Just kidding, office. That's a bit of a joke. Just putting that one in there. $48,000 in whiskey. Hold up. We gotta go. I gotta see how this math works. But we'll say the vacations is correct. We'll say the vacations is correct. Is this accurate? $48,000 in whiskey. All right, so they base this on $300 a week over 3 years. All right, well, maybe this does work out. All right, so we got what? 52 weeks in a year times 3, and then times 300. Yeah, it's about right. It's about right. I mean, he did say that he was going and spending about like the expensive bottles, like the $200 bottles, the $500 bottles. This sounds crazy, but I think it has to be rated as true. $48,000 in whiskey. Yeah, it absolutely assumes a lot. But so far, I would have to rate this one as probably accurate, which is insane. He was buying all the whistle pigs and the good ones, like the ones who were getting 18, the 24 years and stuff. That's insane, though, just to think about that. 3 years, $50,000. That's like someone, like typically, I think the average American earns less than this in a year. Now, obviously, this is over 3 years of expenses, but this is what he just drunk. This is what he threw down, his tasteless gullet. Have you seen the paintings he buys? He doesn't have taste, okay? This is wasted alcohol. You know what? It didn't even preserve him. It did the opposite. $40K in extra indulgences. Art, Kayla's surgery. Yes, Kayla got the mummy makeover. I think he spent a lot more on art, though. I think the Joker painting alone. So we'll put the ha. There we go. Ha. The Joker painting alone is allegedly worth, or at least he paid for, $60,000. Now that may have been a tax write-off, or like, you know how they do that. You buy the art as a donation, you get the painting, and then you deduct it. So who can say? But I heard $60,000 for the Joker painting. I'm not sure if that's accurate or not, but that's what I've heard. And it's also possible that Nick could be lying about this. He's a consummate liar. So I don't see why he would be truthful about what it cost. Now, I had a theory as well. I had a theory that the art donations were part of the trust fund. Like, let's say his parents are like, you get to donate $100,000 to the charity of your choice every year, and you can say it's your donation. So because he did go to a lot of charity art auctions, and that may have been his way to get something out of it. So he could have, and again, this is all my headcanon. I just made this up. Okay, that's my source. Is that he got like all the art he paid for, he actually paid for with the parents' money, but he maybe got tax deductions from those as well. House repairs, that's very funny because we know that we've got the tomb to the unknown handyman in his kitchen. But if you add all of these expenses up, which I would say they're fairly accurate in what I know about Nick. I would say this is fairly. I would say the Coke's the most dubious one. Now I know that Camelot said that he was spending $20,000 a month on Coke. I assume that was for like 1 to 3 months at maximum. There's no way he was blowing through $20,000 a month on cocaine for 12 months. I don't believe that. I mean, it's not impossible. He may have been stupid enough to do that. God damn it. I mean, his handyman's name was L. Ron Cupboard. But when I heard, so Camelot did say the $20,000 a month, right? Is what I was going to say. But I assumed that Nick was bragging about this and it was a lie from the get-go. Like he probably spent like $3,000 to $6,000 a month on coke. He's like, yeah, I'm a baller, man. I spent $20K on. That's what I assume it was. And then Camelot reported as he heard it. But frankly, I don't believe it. But you never know, right? Like this story is so crazy that it may just be the case that it's true. Apparently, an ounce is 1,500, more or less. Well, how many ounces was he putting through his nose every day, though? That's the question. Do Camelot voice when you're. I'll try. I actually don't have any problem with Camelot. He seems like he's doing his own thing. It's fine. Good for him. He's a bit of a drama queen, though. He's like, I don't like drama. No, he absolutely loves drama. He loves it. But the gap, if these numbers were accurate anyway, then the gap would be $7,000, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. So again, there's a lot of liberties taken with this, a lot of assumptions taken with this. But if this is the case, it really goes to show you that it's not what you earn, it's what you save. VTubers hate. Yeah, I know VTubers hate Camelot. Yeah, because he was a complete asshole to Pippa. And while Pippa's got her own problems, what he did to her was very, very childish, and he absolutely deserves the criticism he gets for that, because he tried to pretend it was like, oh, they're just no. It just I don't know how this. Yeah, you knew what you were doing. Don't even pretend. And she even asked him to stop, and then he decided to continue like stream rating her to the point where she would have to end her streams and things like that. So it went on and on for a bit. So he knew what he was doing. He did stoke the flames a lot, and he did stoke the flames particularly to endear himself to the Baldo Führer himself, because he's literally said, I was watching the stream. He said, should I raid Pippa? Nick, knowing that Camelot was in hot water with Pippa and her community, and Nick being upset that Pippa never came on his stream because the Pippa management never approved her to go on Nick's stream, and he was salty about that. He said, yes, you should. So Camelot, in an effort to impress his friend, his baller 20K friend a month, right? He harassed Pippa in such a way that he knew what he was doing was wrong. All right, let's continue what we got from here. But it's an interesting theory. It's certainly an interesting little post here. But I have some problem with the numbers, but it's not impossible, right? It's not impossible.
So, Will, this weekend I'm going to send you some messages. Maybe you can help me out with that. I know you've done some really cool things, as you are TV's Will Heron, former ABC 7 El Paso weekend guy, weather update guy, sports guy, my guy. You know I got nothing but love for you, baby.